I'd like to welcome everyone to the next episode of the Cue It Up DJ podcast.
Marketing.
Yeah.
All right, stand by and spin. About 15 seconds. Jordan, you gotta be open. Stand by and 12. 3, 2, 1. You're clear.
Like our title is Cue It Up. We're queuing it up for ourselves, but also for the venue, for the photographer, for the videographer, anybody that's involved with the event. We're queuing everything up. Everybody comes back to us for the queue up.
Okay, guys, ready? Bye. We are ready.
Okay, what's up, everybody? And welcome to another episode of the Cue It Up DJ podcast. And look who we have in the building tonight.
Roll for record. Ready? Bars and tone. Take bars and tone.
DJ tips and tricks. Right. Cool. Forgot that. Do the tips and tricks. Come out. Screen sharing.
Okay. Ready, slate, and lose tone.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
No, didn't hear the introduction at all. That's why I was going like that. And I sing William Box too.
Take luck. Ready, full screen graphic, and fade up.
Where we all come together as DJs. No matter what skill level you're at, we come here to connect, learn, and grow. And from pro tips to real talk, we're here to support and celebrate the DJ community.
Great show.
So with that said, let's cue it up again and start the show. Before it's time to spin, you've got to first cue it up.
I'm probably in your area too. Everybody who owns a laptop, they're a DJ. Everybody who owns a DSL camera, they're a photographer.
And what I'll do is put up blurbs so therefore you can see what I'm thinking about and why I chose that song. You can see the reaction of the kids. So you can kind of like get an idea of how to use it and what to expect.
Why do you want to charge for something that you have the knowledge of and these other DJs don't have the knowledge of? Share your knowledge, you know?
Right.
But DJing's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun too, you know? I'm djmikiemike. I cover central, northeastern Pennsylvania, southeastern Pennsylvania, parts of New Jersey, parts of New York State.
And I'm Dwayne Dixon, the HitmanDDub from Cleveland, Ohio. And it's time to cue it up. Okay, what's up everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Cue It Up DJ podcast with me, the HitmanDDub, and my friend DJ Mikie. And today we got two guests. Well, one been on the show before, DJ Reese. He's part of the Recreate the Vibes podcast. And then we have I guess you can't call him a guest because he kind of like is on our show and Buddy's show on Tuesday. He's our chat all-star, DJ Kev from DJK Productions, RKJ and DJ.
That is correct.
So Kevin, that's the guy that I always refer to when I say, thanks Kevin for getting me the gig and all that. That's the person who I'm referring to. So last week,
try to share the love as much as I can.
Yep, and I appreciate it. And so our podcast is a place where DJs of all skill levels come to connect, learn, and grow. From pro tips to real talk, we're here to support and celebrate the DJ community. So last week, we had talked about Jock Jamz, songs that you play at a sporting event. And so these are the 3 takeaways. When you look for a song to play at a sporting event, you want to try to hit the main part of the song, usually the hook that everyone knows, and you want to try to do call and response or stump clap participation kind of songs on chants. Also, you want to try to hit songs, high energy songs like rock songs, EDMs, rap songs, or pop songs. And then always make sure you play the clean versions and try to match the school or the brand standards and audience age. And tonight, we are talking about another job, another side hustle that DJs can do, which is going from being a DJ to doing voiceovers. So tonight, we're going to talk about what gear to get, what kind of training or skill level that you should have, and how to go about getting those jobs as a voiceover. So that's why we have DJ Reese on the show, because he has experience in the radio and he does voiceovers. And Kevin had asked me this question, and I'm the kind of person, I'm not the one that knows all the answers. So if I don't know the answer, I try to find someone who knows it better and can give better advice. So let's go and get started with our show so we don't run out of time. Respect everybody's time. So, but actually, Kevin, you want to, because Reese already introduced herself before, but Kevin, I don't know if people really know anything about you. You want to introduce yourself?
Just a little background. I sort of got into the DJing thing because my uncle was in it. He started basically there when he graduated back in '76. So after a while, it was sort of fun, and I sort of grew into it. Worked with my uncle, learned his ways. Worked with a multi-op, learned their ways, and sort of from there, I've branched out on my own because the multi-op was changing their co-ownership to someone further away, and he had his own team. So I'm now on my own more than I was. I primarily do weddings, but I've done, municipality events. I've done corporate, schools, of course, homecomings, proms. From there, I've done some work for the local county fair. During their fair week, I did their announcements. And I had some of the people that run the food and game trailers come over to me. It's like, oh my gosh, you have such a great voice for this job when you're doing the announcements and everything. I was like, well, thank you. It's like, you should be doing something beyond here. Like what? Oh, at least at the state fair level or beyond, So I got some good kudos on that. And I thought, well, maybe that's something I can look into. I have since branched into DJing, which is sort of, there's a lot of bars on their whim. Yeah, no, maybe. So I'm looking to add another revenue stream. And so I was looking to get more information on it based on the people have told me that I have a pleasant voice.
Yeah, that's why I had said on the show after I had DJed with you back in May. I was like, Kevin has I like the way that he MCs his weddings, because he has a certain personality and he has a voice. It kind of like remind me of someone that's at the fair, because it just seems natural and it just comes. Even when things have popped up where you have to ad lib or to fill in time, Kevin was real good at jumping in and then making it seem like it was meant to happen or flow right as opposed to being awkward.
Yeah. Some people I know get concerned with, silent. You can't have silence. You can't have silence. This is one of the DJs I've worked with, but he's of the opinion it's like silence is okay. My uncle, he's like, you can't have dead air, but sometimes dead air is okay. It's not the end of the world. So, but I like to, during my announcements, I also like to have fun, like you mentioned, and make it, entertaining. I even do it during the fair. Not everything is a joke, but if I and with fair, the thing was you're reading through the same list of activities going on and everything, so you try to change it up because after a while they're just gonna tune you out. So you got to sort of change it up a little bit and make it unique each time you're reading through it. Because I was reading through, the announcements. You're parked in a bad spot. You don't want the happy hooker to come and get you. It's like, so I made it always fun. Like you need to move your car ASAP, or someone not so pleasant is going to move it. So I always tried to make it fun and jovial.
Mm-hmm. So with that said, so Reese, so if someone wants to get into voiceover, so well, let's back up. So how did you get into doing voiceovers and stuff?
All right, so definitely had I would say a unique start. I mean, when I was in college, I was told I had a dynamic voice, so that kind of planted the seed of, hey, I definitely should get involved in doing voiceover work. I actually volunteered when I used to live in New York City. I volunteered for a summer park like festival where they just throw events. I think like every 2 days, it's like a concert in the park. Central, it's called Summer Stage in Central Park, and there was a French TV company that actually gave me a script like live, and like basically like improv. So like that was like the first time I was like recorded, uh, just doing a voiceover. But once I started working in radio, that's where I got my true opportunity. So I met an imaging director, and imaging directors, they actually produce the commercials. They get the scripts from the other companies. They actually place those spots inside. They place those spots inside a broadcast automation system, so that these commercials run hourly. So just started networking. Started me and this imaging director actually started to like really get close. We had like similar interests, and then we got to talking about like what are our goals for the next couple of years. And he was asking me like, what are you trying to do at this station? Like what do you want to do? And I was like, besides being on air, I want to be the voiceover guy for the station. He's like, seriously? I was like, yeah. So he actually gave me a script, and he's like, I need it by before COB close the business. So got the script done. I was in another studio with another station going on. I was actually able to record the script, sent it over to him. He loved it. From then on, I was like literally the voiceover guy for this R&B and hip hop station in Philadelphia. And then from then, I had my shift was moved, so I started doing midnight, from midnight to 6 a.m. So while I already had over probably like 15, 16, maybe even almost like 20 demos, basically 20 voiceovers. So I chose three of like my strongest ones, the ones I thought that stood out to me, and then I just started reaching out to voiceover agencies. So while I was working this long 6 hour shift and doing other things I should have been doing, like working out, going to the gym, I was I was sending emails. I sent over 300 emails. I had about 6 to 7 companies actually contact me back. And there was a company. So I live in Violin, New Jersey. And it's funny, there's a company in Violin, New Jersey, where actually this guy has a home studio. He does big commercials for a lot of big companies. He actually reached out to me, and I was able to get my first paid voiceover, and it was Delaware Lottery, and it was recurring. Like I kept doing it for years and years. But even learning from the imaging director, I got to a point where I started producing commercials. So like that was the other side of it. So I produced for Puma. I've also produced commercials for Senior Health Stop, which is a healthcare organization. So I ended up producing commercials, like just from learning from him, but then even just getting that voiceover opportunity. So that kind of gave me two opportunities to expand, beyond just DJing, doing voiceovers, but now I know how to produce a commercial.
I got a question. When
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
definition of what you're talking about producing, are you writing it and then adjusting the sound after you record it, or are you just sort of doing the audio critiquing manipulation after the recording?
Everything. So when I'm saying producing, I'm writing the script. I'm also recording it. I'm also editing it. I'm also mastering it, and yeah, sending it back. So doing everything. So
Okay.
yeah, and sometimes with the imaging directors too. So I worked at other stations too, where I worked with imaging directors, where I didn't really have a close relationship, where they didn't pass any scripts on to anybody. They just did everything because they wanted their voice to be the person to be on the air for the commercials. So they weren't writing the script, because a lot of times with radio, say if you got a T-Mobile commercial, there's someone from the an account executive will send it over. They'll send that script over to the imaging director. He'll go from the script and boom, read off the script. So he's not actually creating that script. So sometimes, especially with radio, you usually don't have the liberty of creating a script unless it's it's an activation with the station. So if they have something going on with the artist and the station's really promoting it, then as an imaging director, you have that opportunity to create that 15-second spot, that 30-second spot, that 60-second spot. But when it's with a other company, 9 out of 10, they're going to give you a script. Like they want specific things said. They want it at certain points. So
with that, let's start from the beginning. Let's see if we can try to go like from a journey from transitioning from being a DJ to doing voiceovers. So what is the first thing what is some of the things that we'll need to get and do in order to do a voiceover or to get our foot into the door?
all right, so depends on what you do. So if you work in radio, you're actually at the perfect opportunity. Like if you work in radio, you really don't need anything. You could literally be in the studio. I was able to use their own software. I was able to use their own microphone. Again, I'm in the studio, so I'm literally recording on their own dime. So I had a great opportunity with doing that. Now, when I transferred it to my house, I got an ISO box, which is it's like a vocal booth. You can actually like record in the booth. I don't want to move my microphone away, but I'll move it a little bit if I can get it into the screen. But I have a padded microphone, but this foam is like very thick. Oh, you can't even see it on the background, but the foam is called Altron, Alctron. It's very thick. It's a PF8 foam. It's super thick. It'll actually block out pop filters, like any pops, S's. It really traps the sound. Also, too, I would say if you don't have a vocal booth, because you don't have to get the one I mentioned. There's a lot of cheaper vocal booths. You can even make your own vocal booth, but a sound treated room would be a great thing to have too as well. Or your closet. If you got clothes, pillows, as long as you're trapping the sound, think like just like how, man, you're very creative with your speech. Think the same way when it comes to voiceovers. You can use your closet, because guess what? You got clothes in there. You can throw pillows in there. It's going to trap the sound. So that's another way too.
And so why is it important to not just record in a regular room, but have it treated so you can get like the super dry sound?
Man, the sound travels, man. Like sound, so you can hear when you're in a room where a room is treated, and you can hear when the room is not treated. You can hear everything. I mean, especially if you're sitting down recording, you can even hear like the movement of your seat. Like it's crazy. Like you can literally hear everything. You move your foot, you can hear it. Like you can hear everything. So
Yeah, so when he's talking about treated, let me see if I can grab, so
It's crazy because I have all the stuff on my wall, but I can't grab it and rip it off.
well, mine's fell down, so I'm able to.
Okay.
I grabbed this from Guitar Center, so I have it like all on my wall.
Okay.
So I have that. Then also, what about those reflectors shield things?
You could use that, but again, it's funny. I have one, but the vocal booth to me is so much better because my reflector shield. All right, so my microphone's here, the reflector shield's around, but what's up top? It's open space.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, so I had a reflector shield. I was using it for 2 years, and I'm like, it. Honestly, I felt like I was. When I would go in my wife's closet, it was better recording in there than using the reflector shields.
Mm-hmm.
It was just better. Like I honestly feel like the closet, if you don't, because you don't have to get like you can get in a vocal booth, which I think is great. You don't have to get like I was fooled. I watched this guy on YouTube and he kind of tricked me and I got the ISO box and it's almost $1,000. You don't like that's a waste of money.
Oh, from Sweetwater?
Yes, man. And I forget the guy's something Wayne, and he's big on plugins and recording studios. But yeah, he played me though. Like he did this video where it was like it was so convincing to get it. Like, and it's wonderful, but again, you don't need to spend $1,000 for a vocal booth. That's ridiculously stupid. You don't need to do that.
Now, do you put a rug down underneath your feet?
Yes.
Okay. I know that's one of the main.
The movement is important, but also think about so there's a home recording studio that when I went to record the Delaware Lottery, the way this reminded me of like I used to intern at a studio and then I became an assistant engineer. This was like literally a legit like serious like studio, but the main thing is I stood up to record. Like I didn't sit down or anything. Everything was treated from head to toe. But I also feel like if you're doing voiceovers, yes, it's a lot comfortable to sit down, but yeah, just be mindful because again, any sudden movement and you're that close to the mic, and again, if your room is not fully treated, it's just going to pick up. Like there's nothing you can really do about it, man.
No.
And a good microphone too, like a good microphone, a great pop filter, something padded. Mine only cost maybe I want to say $30-something. It wasn't expensive. Like there are a lot of great options where I forget there's the one I have is I will say it's a kind of a knockoff of the actual. There's one that's like $230-something of like the same exact phone I have, which is like the actual like the studio standard that a lot of guys do use in the studio or at home studios, like real professional artists use it. But this is like it's almost like the same exact. It's really good. So again, I found way cheaper options where you don't have to break the bank, like, and you don't really have to break the bank, which is the important thing. So,
what type of microphone are you using?
I got an AKG 47, and I got that from Guitar Center.
Cool.
Is there a benefit of one way or the other, dynamic versus condenser?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know. I just never. That's a really good question. I don't know. I just never used a regular. I never used a
Condenser,
just a regular mic to record a voiceover.
Because
when I was in a radio station, it's when you're recording in there, like for the voiceovers, like my imaging director, his microphone is completely different from the regular talking mics for the artists, for the interviewers. Like it's just totally different. So for me, I always thought that no, you probably can't use a regular microphone that you use to DJ. Like I always thought like, I don't know if there's a difference. I just thought, well, if the imaging director is using this dynamic mic, then there's no way I should use a condenser mic, Yeah,
I know the difference between like condensers and all that. We use condenser mics for like choir mics. So it's almost like having a boom mic. You can record something further away, and it's pinpoint, so sound that's coming directly at it, pick up everything. To me, it seemed like you would want to get a mic that's not omnidirectional, but only pick up sound that's coming right at it, as opposed to picking up everything else that's around it.
Well,
So-
that would help eliminate your, wiggling on the seat, or, a creaking or a sound, I mean, if it's directional, it should sort of drop off the other ones. But is that the condenser? See, my understanding was condensers are more sensitive, which means to me it would pick up more ambient noise.
Right.
And also their pattern is different than, I think, some of the dynamics. Is that
right?
correct?
Yeah, because
Right,
it's
yeah.
just like
I
the
got
hanging,
dynamic.
like at church, we have the hanging on condenser mics to pick up the
I mean, that's
choir, because you're picking up a big, huge group.
I
Okay.
mean, that's
Yeah.
what they used to. I don't know if they still do. That's what they always used to do on the TV shows that they would produce. They had a boom mic
Right.
Mhm.
out of view. So, okay.
And then those, you have to have phantom power with those too, the condenser mics.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you, with your mic, you said a good mic. Do it have to be an XLR or can it be a USB?
That's a good question. I've seen people with USB mics. Mine's XLR, so I don't want to tell someone that you can't. I've seen people do voiceovers with a USB mic, but
Have you
Yeah, I-
tried both?
no, I haven't. But I've if you go on YouTube, I'm telling you, there's people who have created a different way of living doing voiceovers, even to the point of like where they're creating their own skits or they're making fun of things in their own unique voice, and they're using USB microphones, and it actually sounds like really good, But I don't know personally. I don't know any voiceover artist that uses a USB mic. But again, I think if it's good quality, it's good quality. At the end of the day, like you can't deny that.
I don't know whether anybody else can confirm or deny, but I've done a little bit of reading, and I thought in the reading I read that the USB does not have the fidelity or the range that an XLR. Is that what anybody else has read?
But because I'm thinking if it doesn't have the range, it's because if you go in XLR, that means you pretty much have to either have some kind of
The
audio
yeah.
interface to
Interface,
plug
yeah.
into, or a mixer
Got the
to
room,
plug in.
yeah. And the USB will be directly into the laptop.
Yeah, so that almost makes sense though, because if an XLR is going to a mixer or an audio device, you can boost that sound
Boost
and do
it,
more,
yeah.
as opposed to running off of a USB power.
But even if if you're plugged in USB, depending on what software you're using, you still could add those effects on there as well. You still could boost, still turn up the gain, depending on what software you're using. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got my Rode. I also have a Focusrite. Yeah, I'm an XLR guy. I've always been. Like I never tried, and it's crazy because I've never tried a USB mic. I guess from what I've seen and what has always been used, I just thought that was always the standard, like XLR. But again, if you go on YouTube, I'm telling you, there's people who do audiobooks that are using USB mics, and they sound amazing. I don't know if it's any, I'm pretty sure they might be also using some plugins too as well. You never know, but they sound amazing. So,
All right, what about headphones?
yeah, I'm a headphone guy. I actually want to hear myself.
Okay.
So I would say it honestly. So when I record voiceovers and when I did them from companies, I use the headphones. But when I recorded my Delaware Lottery in the studio, no, I actually didn't use any headphones. But I think it's probably because I was a little I was a little nervous because there was 7 people also on the call. So they're judging me, they're watching me. So I don't know. I feel like I didn't even want to hear myself. But when I'm at home and I'm relaxed, it's different. I actually want to hear myself because I'm a nitpick. If I don't like it, I'm immediately stop. I don't even finish through. So.
So when you do your voiceovers, are you doing it a solo voice, or are you doing when you went back to the imaging? Are you doing the the sound effects, the music, the jingles, and that kind of thing?
All that, man.
Okay.
All that. And I'm getting, I have folders of like sound effects, radio jingles. So absolutely using all of that.
But that's a piece together. You're not trying to do it all at one take and make it perfect.
All right, so no, I'm not, but I actually have like recorded voiceovers where it was actually like one take that was actually good. I'm not gonna lie. It's I can be honest with you. It's very rare though. Like, it's a lot of punching in. Like I can't even lie to you. It's a lot of punching in. But I actually have done some where it's like one take, and I'm like, oh my god, this is because sometimes I'll get a voiceover done, and I feel like it sounds amazing, but I may have had like 5 different takes, and I'm copying and pasting and chopping and splitting. But then I'm like, you know what? Let's see if I could do this with one take. Like, let me see if I could do this one take, and it's happened before.
It's like
Even,
like
sorry,
one of
say
those
again?
days where you're golfing and it's just you can't miss a putt and every drive is just pure. And the next day you're shankaholic and you got to do it over and over again. I need a mulligan. I need a mulligan. And
it happens, And it's funny. The first time I did Delaware Lottery, I did my first. I think it was like my first 3 takes, and the third one they were like, "Oh yeah, that's really good." I was like, "Can I do it again?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." Boom, knocked it out the park. They used my last take, and it was like spot on, perfect. No, I didn't stop or anything. I just felt so comfortable because I felt like I was just talking too fast, and I was like I was just super nervous. Like, when people are watching you and staring at you, delivering a voiceover, sometimes it's a little like, I was sweating like crazy, and it was a 30-second spot. Shouldn't be sweating that much in 30 seconds. Like, it doesn't even make sense. So
basically a job interview. You felt
that's how I felt, but I felt like it was even like because job interviews, I don't know, I was just such a I won't say a BS talker, but I was so good, and like I knew about your company, I knew about the mission statement. Even the person out interviewing me, I would look them up, so I always have at least like 4 great things to ask them, or even sometimes like, oh, you went to this school, how like, oh, you played this sport, like I always knew. Oh, that's your favorite team. What about so and so? So I always knew what to ask and how to interject, and they're like, oh, he actually really did his research. So the interviews was like, I never had a problem with interviews, but yeah, sometimes like people watching me, even like as an event host, sometimes like at first it was just like, yeah, I used to like kind of like get a little bit nervous. Now it's just like, whatever, people are gonna stare at you. They're gonna be like, all right, what the hell is this guy talking about? Or he doesn't really sound like, he doesn't look as he sounds, and I get that a lot too. Like,
that's not the way I thought you'd look.
Right. And it's like, now it's like, I'm just so comfortable. It like, it is what it is. Like, people are going to look at you. We asked for this. So, you got to get comfortable with it,
So as we finish up with this section about the equipment, so we said make sure you treat your room or go into a closet so you can get like a dead sound, and you can hear the difference when you go into a treated room. You don't hear the reflections of the room, the sounds from the room. Try to get a good mic, and it could be an XLR. That's what everybody mainly use, but I guess there's good USBs. If you get an XLR, you have to invest in some kind of way to get it into your computer, be a little mixer or an audio device. And then
you
get
used the Focusrite. Have you used any of the other ones? I've seen a Behringer and a Presonus and some Moto, I think.
Okay. I had a Behringer. I also used, I wish I could show this. I will show it. I have my Rode. I don't know if, you know what? Let me take my my background off.
Yeah. I know my school we had the Presonus. It came with our mixer.
So I also use this Rodecaster as well.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Can you speak of the ones you've used, the pros and cons between them?
So with the Focusrite and the Rodecaster, to be honest, I was all right. So the Focusrite, if I was doing a voiceover with another person, that's perfect. If there was multiple voices, say maybe 4 people, which is kind of like crazy to have 4 people in a room that I am, but I have more options for input. Also, too, I don't use anything as far as there are some options on my board as well. Like there's some effects. I can also filter out my voice. I don't do any of that on my audio interface. I actually do that after the production. I use Logic Pro to edit all my voiceover stuff. Like even when I was recording in Adobe Audition for the station, I never had to edit anything. But when I had to start editing my own voiceovers, I use Logic Pro. So that's where I would filter out things, use automation. There's a few plugins I would use. I would compress my voice. I use Logic Pro for that. But as far as like doing any of those effects while recording, no. I just make sure like my channel fader is I make sure I'm not in. I try to get like the lowest at the yellow, and that's about it. I try not to go any further than that because say if I'm, sometimes I'm a little goofy, so I might get like super excited or like I might sound like super corny or whatever. And as soon as it hits the red, I'm like, all right, I can't use this anymore. Yeah. Like this it's already distorted. I can't use this sound anymore. So I try to at least keep it just hitting the yellow or the last bit of the green. Like I give myself some room.
So why don't you record with the effects?
I just like a natural I just want to hear a natural voice and then go on and add things on there. I don't want to tamper with my voice and add effects while recording anything. I just feel like it's better to record with a natural voice and then add the effects, because once you tamper with your voice and the effects are there, then I can't get rid of them because that's how I recorded my voice. Now it sounds so, and then now I probably have to, if I don't like it, now I have to really do another take, like that voice, this is garbage, I can't use this anymore. So
right,
and everything's better in post-production instead of doing it right then live, recording with a reverb on or an echo on. Because like you said, once you record it, that's it, there's no going back. That's what you got is what you got. So
right,
record it without anything on there, add anything you want afterwards. At least you still have something to fall back to. If you have to change something up or if you have to add something to it, you can still do it then.
No, absolutely.
All right, now we got the equipment. Now, what about the software and computer?
Man, so
and again, remember, we're talking about DJs that's trying to transition.
Trying to start it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, honestly, as long as you're not using a Chromebook, you're fine. As long as you're not using as long as you can get some software, like and there's an operating system on your laptop, you are perfectly fine. And when it goes to as far as the software, I would say, if you're Mac, Logic, you can use Logic Pro. Also, you can use Audacity. You can use Adobe Audition. Same thing with PC. I even had like Mixercraft back in the day. I think there's Acoustica, Mixercraft. I had that back in the day. Mm. As long you don't have to use like Pro Tools is great too. Like I'm not you can use Pro Tools, but it's not a must. I would just say don't use the DAWs that are mainly for like producing beats though. So like I wouldn't use Fruity Loops. I wouldn't use Ableton. They're not strong when it comes to vocals at all. So focus on like the Logic Pros. What's the other one? There's one with an R that like kind of just got revamped lately. I can't even think of it, but it's been around for a while.
Not the Studio One, is it?
No, but Studio One is I
That's
don't know if
like
it's
a
good
Pro
for vocals,
Tools. Yeah.
but yeah, for beats though, I mean, I've seen some of the AI stuff with Studio One and Jazzy Jeff. Oh my god! But yeah, as long as you use a regular DAW that's strong for vocal production, you'll be fine. And again, there's free ones, so you don't even have to pay for it. Like don't think that you don't have to get Pro Tools and buy an iLock and do all those things. You don't have to do it because yeah, I have an iLock and I haven't used Pro Tools in like since 2012. You know? So I have an iLock just sitting around like probably never be used again. So,
Yeah, yours is probably
waste of
collecting
money, man. I wasted
collecting
so much
dust,
money.
just like
Yeah.
mine's
you
right
live and
here.
learn.
Wasted so much money like trying to do all these things. Like
You're living and learning, and
absolutely,
you know what to do, and you're passing your knowledge on.
absolutely.
Now, the software, you're saying that we got to be in a room where there's not making any noise. The software does not have the ability to say, this is extraneous, whatever noise that shouldn't be there. I'm going to, or, you know, it'll highlight it, take it out. It doesn't have the ability to do anything with that.
Now it depends, but you got to think about this. Your microphone is picking up. So even if you're which there's plugins for this, but say you're breathing heavily, that's going to get picked up by your microphone. However, there's plugins to take that out. But say if your sound is bouncing off the wall,
Oh, there you go.
there are plugins, but at the end of the day, you can still you're still going to be able to hear that you were not in a treated room. Or say someone's yelling, outside, or say if you live, like when I lived in New York, I lived by like trains. So
Yeah.
it was like there's no way in hell, like it wasn't even like possible for me to record where I used to live at, and there's like trains above me. I'm just like, oh man, yeah, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
There's no plugins in the world that's going to be able. There's nothing that will be able to take that sound out as you're recording your voice, and that's coming in. It's just not going to happen.
It's like when we use stems, that stem out the instrumental and just have the vocals playing. Sometimes you could still hear certain frequencies being taken out. So it's just like that.
Yeah, okay. All right. I just wanted to ask that.
But I would say, man, like depending, even like looking like this, like I almost got back into like radio on the sports side, and my main reason was to do that so I could just have access to like a better studio. Like, it's not because I actually like radio was radio was cool, but I'm telling you, they'll let you, like, if you're not in there messing around, effing stuff up, and especially you get an access card, you can come whenever you want and record. As long as you don't mess anything up, you don't mess anything up with the broadcast automation system, commercials are still running, songs are being played, they will let you in there record. And that was like my only purpose. Like, hey, I want an amazing studio, crystal clear sound. That's it. Like that, I had like a whole plan because I actually signed up for like a membership, like for a company that would send me voiceovers, and I basically would battle out other voiceover artists and record my my demo to those voiceovers, and I would if they choose me, I get to record the voiceover. So that was like one of my plans. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just get back in radio so I could have access to a studio, bang everything out. I don't even have to worry about, oh, do I hear this? Do I hear this in my? I don't even have to worry about it. So there's opportunity there. Even with some colleges really have the state of the art. Like I went to Montclair State. They have upgraded their whole radio program. It's like literally state of the art. It was garbage when I was there. Now it's like state of the art. It's better than some radio stations. So that's another option as well. Even some community radio stations have really good studio equipment and treated rooms. So do not be afraid to reach out, make those connections. And of course, man, you're already like, once you're already hosting things, you're already speaking. So you are already a step there. You're not someone who hasn't read a script, hasn't talked in front of people, hasn't used your words for good or imagination. Like you're already a step there. Now you gotta like let's like let's finagle our way in. Like, let's find a great way to get in the door, but not have to really maybe spend the most money to do it. Like, let's find a way where a situation also benefits me that I could use it to my advantage, which I think you have a great opportunity to do. So
Yeah, I know here up in Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, I know a lot of our libraries now, especially the new ones, have
it's
a recording
podcast, man.
studio. So
Yep,
I don't
they're
know.
doing a podcast in there.
Yeah, so you might want to check those out, especially the newer, bigger ones.
Yeah, I'm trying to get involved in that because I feel like, doing 10 years of radio, voiceover, I feel like, and I also used to edit podcasts like for business radio too. I just feel like I could add a lot, but then also, have a nice, a nice studio to record.
Little side benefits.
You got to take advantage of it because also too, man, it's like, I don't know, sometimes, I could be cheap, man. So it's like, even when I would like do my DJ mixes, I would like unplug my laptop, like, cause I'm like, oh, that's 2 hours. Like, if I want to DJ for 2 hours, and then, damn, I got 2 speakers running. So I'm just, I live in a house. I'm just thinking of all these ways to like, I'm always trying to save. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right, so we move from, so you're saying as far as software, you can use Audacity, and that's
Absolutely.
free. And then if you're on Mac, is Logic free? I know Band,
No.
is it Band in the
Now
Box or no? What GarageBand is the free one?
GarageBand is free, and GarageBand is literally like the baby brother of Logic Pro. Like, you get the same plugins. You actually really don't. You can make the music sounds just as good. You get to download the whole entire library, so you can use GarageBand. You don't even need to get Logic Pro. To be honest.
So what is your favorite, or what is your go-to VSTs? Like do you put reverb in post production? Do you put any kind of effects to beef up and make your voice come up?
No, I mean I do a limiter, so I do a voice my voice. So I make sure, again, even though I make sure my channel is low and it's not, it might just hit the yellow or it might hit the green, but no, I use a limiter, compression, and that's honestly really it. And depending, sometimes the way I would say things, I feel like sometimes I would have to kind of like automate my voice and cut off. So I use automation a lot too as well. Like, even when it comes down to like breathing a certain way, or if I hear myself breathe, then yeah, I'll automate, I'll split, close the file, like close the track a little closer, and then rejoin it as a one file again. So like, those are like some of my tricks. But no, I'm really not plug-in heavy, to be honest with you. I'm not.
So you almost do like sometimes when I talk, there's like pauses. So you basically just close it up so it sounds fluid, and then use when you say automation, is it more so like raising the volume just before you talk and lowering it just to cut it off? Or
and sometimes, I'll, right before, especially like when I kick certain things off, I'll actually like gradually, like, not go slowly into it, but I will like take a little bit off and then raise the volume up. So it's not like I'm just, as soon as I'm talking, I'm peaking. Like it's like it's super loud. No, I kind of want it to like, I flow into what I'm saying.
Oh, so basically like a fade in, fade out kind of.
Fade in, fade out. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's one thing my the imaging director told me and showed me. He's like, this is golden. Like, this is like one of the easiest ways to edit your voice too as well. Fade in, fade out. Because sometimes you don't really have to record, like certain things you can really fade it out and it sounds good, especially if you pronounce words a certain way and you might, like, say you add a little extra sauce to it and you don't need to, or it doesn't sound exactly like that. There's a great way to actually fade out where you're not hearing that little bit of what you're saying that's not needed at the end of the day. So
okay,
it'll save you from re-recording 100 times, man. Trust me.
Okay, so we got the software together. So we just recorded our voiceovers. So as far as building portfolios, because you said you had a whole bunch of voiceovers. So
Yes.
what kind of things do we do to like create our demos of our voiceovers?
Man, I mean, just even simple Google searches, man. There are scripts all over Google, all over the internet. Also, too, some of these companies like voices.com, voices123, you can get a free profile. So you'll actually see what a company's, you'll see what a script. They'll give you a sample script. So boom, that's part of your demo as well. But again, there's sample scripts all over the internet. And then think about this, you can take it even one step further. Go on YouTube. There's people who have their voiceovers on YouTube. Why not record the same script but do it in your style? Like that's another way, to produce a demo for yourself. So get creative with it. And then there's people on TikTok, and I know that might not be our, favorite platform. It might be a platform we don't like, but there are people who are doing voiceovers in a very, unique way where they're doing a voiceover for a scene, or it could be animals like fighting each other. And it's very interesting, or it could be cartoons or even sports. They're doing voiceovers over sports and adding their own unique style. I mean, there's a guy who did a commercial for the NBA final. Well, he was the voice for the NBA finals 2 years ago. And I know he wasn't a voiceover guy, but that was his thing he did online. And he just got so popular that he actually got paid to do it for the finals, which I thought was insane. I'm like, all right, this is, he did it a unique way. So don't think that again, there's scripts out there. You can create scripts, you can create different narratives, so you can narrate a scene or something you like. You see something on a movie, you can add, it's like literally you can add your own commentary. That's your voice demo at the end of the day. Even your favorite show, even it's just like you're watching the game and now you're the announcer. Like there's moments you can take where, oh yeah, this is a demo and it actually sounds good. So we're in a day and age where it's not how it like used to be anymore. And that's one thing I learned when I was like sending the emails. A lot of people were like, no, we have like unions and stuff. Like they're like, no, you would have to be, or like I'm sending stuff and they're like, no, you're not in Canada. You can't, we don't accept people in the US. Like it's a lot of stuff. It's like, it's a lot of things are different when it comes to, as far as the voiceover work, us being DJs, it's a lot different how we can get our work. And it's a lot of ways we can showcase ourselves where it's not like it was before. Like, oh, I heard of this guy. He's amazing. Let me reach out to him. A lot of people are getting discovered by like putting themselves out there instead of being like, oh, I know he's great, but we never heard of him. So you got to think about it. If they never heard of you, you're great, because it doesn't mean you're not great because people haven't heard of you. How do they know to reach out to you if you're not putting yourself out there? So sometimes we got to think outside the box, even if it's something like, man, I would never do this. It's like, try it. You never know. Just try it.
It's one of those things where it was almost a very tight-knit community because you had to sort of be in
Yes.
the industry of radio or TV to be able to do that, because you basically at that point in time you had to go to a studio.
Right.
Technology wasn't out there to be able to go and buy it on Amazon or Sweetwater or whatever to even think about doing this at home. So it was, but now it's opened it up to a lot of voices out there that were never heard.
That's the beautiful part, because I used to be kind of ignorant, like I interned at like 2 radio stations. Like I went to college in 2004. Like I'll be 40 next year, but like I interned at a record label. Like I actually paid dues, man. Like I was treated like trash, and I had to get coffee, do all those things, the grunt work. And then when I started seeing people like there's people who got on the radio just based off creating jokes online, and like they had a popular following. I'm like, what the hell? I did all these things, and then I started realizing like, no, that actually was smart. Like they create the opportunity. Like you can't get mad at that. Things are changing. But I used to be that guy. Like that's not fair. I interned and did 35 hours and worked for free, and but there's really a lane out there to create these opportunities for yourself. So definitely check out like Voices123, voices.com. I think there's even voiceactor.com, but there are scripts out there. Like there are scripts out there that people will put, and you can actually like they'll put it online where you can actually record yourself and create that voiceover, and that could be your demo, regardless if it came directly to you or from somebody. And then LinkedIn's a very good place to find people who are in the voiceover business, where potentially you can get emails. Like you can use I think it's called Rocket. Is it called Rocket?
Have you
Rocket Launch? But you can find people's email through their if you put their profile link for voiceovers even on LinkedIn and send your demos.
have you tried or had any experience with? I think it's say like independent contractor Fiverr.
So yes, I have, but
I guess it's not been good then, based on your.
no. So someone hired me to do a YouTube. It was like a YouTube crime documentary channel, but like for the words that the pay was terrible, and like it was like literally it's like a 30 almost like a 30-minute video, and they were like trying to pay me $50. And it was the word. I'm just like, it's I don't think so. But there's a lot of people who are actually they're making a killing, and I'll say this too. I think Fiverr's not terrible for everybody. It really depends on what your client is looking for and the value they see you. So again, my value wasn't seen. Doesn't mean your value is not going to be seen. So it's still an opportunity. Like sometimes that's another great way to get your foot in the door. If you do one and like, hey, I have this from this client, they gave me this review, and then you don't ever have to do it again.
Yeah.
Because I also used like when I lived in New York, I know I was going to move back to New Jersey, and South Jersey at that. That's like 2.5 hours away, 2 hours away from New York. I reached out to someone on like Craigslist, this is so strange. He told me, and this is 2014, hey, try Thumbtack. I use Thumbtack. This is 2014. I started using Thumbtack, and I'll be honest with you, I have clients who've stayed with me even from like 2007, 18, but like corporate clients where I started out like really cheap to the point where like now it's like it's 5 figures, like it's almost shocking to see that. Like I was barely getting like 100 an hour for a gig, like barely. Most of them was like 75 an hour, and then just over time, and the more I started to do, and even like being in radio, and it's like, hey, I do this, I do that, I do that. They were like, oh, all right, we have no problem paying you, $500 an hour for a 5-hour gig. Like we have no problem doing that. So it's like, don't like sometimes you might have to use a site or use something for that experience. But now once you get the experience, you're like, yo, and you're confident in it. Like I'm a pro at this, I'm good at this, and you keep proving yourself. Then you can kind of like you can take command and like, hey, I'm worth
you
this.
Set the price.
I can set the price. I'm worth this. I want this, and I have the results to show it. So, don't be scared. I would say try some of the websites, but I would say paying to try to get the work is not really the best rate, because again, you're going against people who already have established themselves on like the bigger websites. So again, you go outside the box, get those demos, reach out to people. But shoot, I've seen, not recently, but I saw people looking for voiceover work even on Craigslist. I've seen people like, hey, I have a script, so who knows if they're sketchy or not, but there are other sites where you don't really have to pay. Like you can find a way to finesse your way through that door.
Now, sorry if I'm monopolizing.
No, this is for you two to talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you talked about different avenues to try to get work.
Yes.
I'm guessing, but I'd like confirmation. Trying to reach out to a radio station, they're going to go, no, we got our own people. Go pound sand. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was my experience. And I tried it on LinkedIn, but I will say this, man, if you're good at building relationships, which is something I'm like working at. But if you're good at building relationships and also, because again, imaging directors, they're not going to go out to the radio station events. Like they're usually just not going to do that. But there are conferences where you can meet people in radio.
Okay.
You know, there are definitely conferences, but if you can find your way to get a relationship with someone who works at a radio station where it's like it's genuine, I feel like you can also like, hey, you know, I do this. I want to get my way in the door. I feel like you can get your stuff passed over, but it's really about the relationship. Because again, if you hit someone off the whim and they don't know who you are, unfortunately, some people are like, well, I don't know this guy. I'm not gonna like, why is he hitting me up? You know, I'm not gonna check this out. Even though I think it's like that's why so much talent gets passed by, because people just their mindset's like, oh, I don't know this person, but that you should check it out. You may never know, you know, check it out. So, but the relationship is important. And then I think you can do that through social media. You know, if you find out, you know, the station you want to work at, you know, the imaging, you see who the imaging director is. I mean, commenting thoughtful things, you know, even like on LinkedIn, if they're posting, or if they're posting, you know, work or this commercial they produced, you know, thoughtful things that they would be like, oh, this guy actually took the time to listen to it, but he also added some insight, you know? So those are other ways to like build that relationship as well. Okay. Yeah, we gotta, you know, again, voiceovers, when it comes to voiceovers, I think you said it best, man, but it's imagination. It's almost like we're childlike in a sense. Like when we're bringing a script to life, like you can almost be childlike, but to the point where it's imagination. So that's how you got to approach it when you're trying to get your foot in the door. Like, don't think like I have to do it a standard way, you know, like be authentic to yourself, but also think outside the box. Like what would like, you know, if you did something like, whoa, this will be interesting. Or even if there's something that, not even saying like mocking someone or making fun of them, but like if there was a way that they talked and you talked exactly like the imaging director did, or someone who's on the news and you literally like, hi, good morning, I am whatever, you know, if you did their spiel and it was so funny, you never know. They might actually see it like, oh, he sounds like me. You know, like just think outside the box. Like don't ever close your mind off, because again, we are creatives. So we are creative. So think outside the box. You know,
I think one of the best voiceover people were Robin Williams when he did Aladdin. I mean,
yeah.
He just
was
went
just super
off on his
talented,
own.
man. God bless him. Super
Yes.
talented. Super talented.
Yes.
Mrs. Doubtfire. Oof.
Oh God.
Yeah, he's super talented, man.
Yes.
And then he was a comedian too.
Oh yeah. He,
like, you know, super talented.
But with the Aladdin, I mean, he did the voiceover for that, and they gave him a script, and I from what I heard, like 80% of the script he didn't even use. He just lived everything on his own, and they just kept it. And the nice thing with doing a voiceover, you can have your own studio in your own home, and you're working at your own home, and you're sending the work out. That's
Right.
it. You know, you're not have to worry about, as like a DJ, packing up the gear, loading the vehicle, getting there, unloading everything, and then doing your gig, pack everything up, coming back home, unpack everything. You're in your own studio at your own home. You do the voiceover, Dropbox, whatever you want to do. If you want to throw out a flash drive and send it to them that way, boom, you got that done. You know.
That's true. And I noticed during the pandemic, a lot of like the smaller stations were hiring people who were doing imaging. When they started like letting people go, they were hiring freelancers to actually do the imaging. So they weren't having someone at the station do it. They were hiring outside people, which is like, I don't know, that's crazy. But I mean, I think it's awesome for that opportunity of people who are getting it. But it's just like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, working around, that's just crazy to me. You know?
Yeah.
Like insane.
Is there any place to go to sort of get this knowledge that you're giving us, that, you know, it's like a tutorial on you know, what you've given and beyond? And is there any kind of, you mentioned like going to like a radio station conference kind of thing, seminar, whatever. Is there a voiceover one that's here in the States that's nationally known?
Dude, I would have to do some research for that as far as the voiceover, but I'm pretty all right. So I never took voice classes or lessons, but that is available. The only I don't know. I feel like my only gripe with that is I don't feel like they're really. It's just like I feel like it's similar to like, all right, I have a college degree. It's similar to going to school. Like they're gonna give you the information just enough to like, all right, you got by, but then it's like, all right, what's the next step? Like how do I, like there's no actual like who am I connected with? Because the person who's giving me the information, you quote unquote done all this. Now, if you like what I do, why can't you connect me to X, Y, and Z? I'm paying you. But you don't get that when you do a voiceover class or session or seminar. But it is supposed to help you, speak, you know, pronounce, tone, inflection, knowing when to pause, when knowing not, uh, learning how to fill a script. But I feel like you can learn that on your own too, and that's like the creative part of like being a human being. If you're not stuck in a box, you're gonna think of creative ways of how to say something. You're gonna think of great moments when to pause and when not to. Like that's you. You're gonna think those things. I feel like those things can't really be taught. You're gonna think those things, but there are this was more of a public speaking. I saw it on meetup.com. It's oh my god, I forget this group, but there's a public speaking group that I did for a little bit. I just wanted to do it for practice, but it was like they were more trying not to get you to say the word and then thinking of things to they could give you topics and then on the fly you're giving ridiculous ass speeches, like literally like making nonsense up, like talking about ice cream, strawberry and bananas and going to them, like this silly stuff. But it really did help, like in a sense of like figurative, like, just being creative and creating these stories out of nothing. Like they're giving you words and well, I went here on Thursday at 2:35, but then at 4 o'clock, my mom called me and like, it was just so ridiculously stupid. It was funny, but it really helped you like build a story, but more of a sense, the imagination piece, but then not saying the word or like that was the purpose of it. I forget they're national. It's a national company too. I'm trying to. Oh my god, how did I? They're all over the place too. It's a public speaking and speech company. I think it's Tastemasters. If I'm saying that correctly, I think it's called Tastemasters. But I'm gonna get your information or put your information in chat, and I'll look and I'll send you some stuff. First, I'll send you some things. Like one thing, I'm very good at like scouring the internet. Like that's one thing I can find anything. So I can definitely send you some things. But yeah, I mean, there's always opportunities. There's I get sent classes. I mean, I don't do any of them, but I get sent classes to my email. But again, I just feel like some of these things they're gonna come from you and your sense of creativity. Because we all have it. We just have to unlock it. That's the real thing. We all have it. And once you unlock it, then you're golden. You're good. You're always gonna be on the fly and you're gonna be thinking of things.
Right. You have any more questions?
Are we about ready to wrap up?
No, I was just trying to figure out where to go next. I didn't want to rush.
I don't want to, it's like, I do have questions, and sometimes when he says something and it sort of gets another question, and I assume early on, it's one of those times when you first did it, it's like, hey, I'd like some feedback. And then as you've done it, the time and the experience, you don't even really probably have to ask someone else's opinion. You listen to it, you're your own worst critic. And right. Like, nope, didn't like that, because I'm that way too. So it's frustrating because it's like you want to do it good, but you want to get it done, and it's like you're fighting yourself at times.
You're right, but I'll say this: always ask for feedback, and I always ask for feedback because there's again, yeah, we are our worst critics, and there's times where I'm like, oh, I don't like this. This is terrible, and then they're like, oh no, this is great. You use this, and I'm like, you serious? Yeah, this is great. And then it's weird because like sometimes you hear yourself, I'm like, why did I say it like that? Or it felt just a little off, and then you hear it the next day, and it's like nothing was wrong with it. Like I've had moments like that, and it's so strange because in the moment you're like, this doesn't sound good. I have to redo it. And luckily you'll have that person that'll tell you like, no, this is actually good. And of course, even when they tell you it's good, you're gonna go back and like listen to it. And even the moment where you feel it's off or you said something and it didn't sound right, you're gonna keep replaying. Like I'll go back and replay it and replay it like, oh, I said adult, or I didn't say adult, or I said it the wrong way. I'm gonna go back and replay it just to see. And then sometimes it's like, oh, it was actually fine. Like I don't know, maybe I was hearing something else. So I think feedback is a good thing. It's definitely a good thing. Of course, we're going to judge ourselves harshly and more harsh than anybody else, but as long as you can get someone who's not going to be a yes man or a yes woman, like who can actually like, they can be tough with you too as well. Like, no, that's not good enough. Redo that. Like I've had people in my corner, or even when I'm DJing, like, why that mix was weak. Like that. Why would you play that song after that one? Like that didn't make sense. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Yeah, that wasn't good at all. So have those people in your corner. It's important because you don't always want to just be yourself judging it as well. Because sometimes you could be too harsh, and then sometimes you also could be like, I love everything I do. And sometimes you need those set of ears to tell you like, no, that's off. Yeah, like that's off. So, but someone who's actually, who, I'm not saying they have to be a professional, but like you would want someone to tell you who understands commercials or maybe a little bit of sound, and like this actually sounds good. But why does it sound good? Not because they like your voice. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you shouldn't, like your pause was too long. Like someone who actually can really critique you in certain moments and point out why they don't like it, not just because, oh, I didn't like it. That's not good feedback at all.
Yeah. It's not constructive. It doesn't tell you how to fix anything.
Absolutely. So look for people who are solution based when it comes to giving you feedback. It's super
details,
important.
Not generals.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And you got your first voiceover job, Kevin. Buddy wants you to do his DJ drop.
Hey, see. And get a review too.
Okay.
Definitely,
No, seriously, get a review. That is part of it, man.
I'd be afraid of Buddy's review because he's very critical of people's setups, so I'd be a little afraid.
Or I was about to say something, but we're live. So I'm about to say, well, I don't know. Write the review for me. Like, yeah, you're gonna post this. You're not gonna talk. If you pay for this and you like it, you're gonna post this.
Mm-hmm.
But no, get a review, man. If he really enjoys it, get a review, because that's a stepping stone. Like, don't think it's not. It's actually a stepping stone. It's in the right direction. Now you have a recommendation.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get real nosy. I know you sort of lightly talked about it. And you basically said, to get your foot in the door, you might have to take a little bit of a discount, or do not completely free, which I assume you're not a big fan of.
No, don't do free. You deserve to be paid for your for your work.
What is that's, I'm not really wanting to say beneath me, but what is that's you're sort of hosing me on that one. What level is it? Is it based on an hourly rate? Because that's what you were saying. Is it based on, or some of them are based on like, this is what we want and we're going to pay you 500, whether it takes you an hour or 100 hours, which way is better way to go? Or do they allot a certain amount of time that they expect you to get it done in?
All right, so yeah, that is actually a really great question. So it depends on the company. Obviously, I mean, with Fiverr,
Okay.
some of them they try to do the whole hourly thing, and you could tell this is not I'm not gonna say a legit company, but it's not a like respectable company. It's not like we're talking about Old Navy or T-Mobile or Google or something. But when I did Delaware Lottery, the first time I did Delaware Lottery, it was a 30-second. I got paid $300. Now, I'll be honest with you, it's not bad. However, I'm pretty sure my engineer, because it was his client, I'm pretty sure he got the chunk of the money. And I was just like, oh yeah, I'll take it. Like I didn't try to negotiate. I didn't say anything. Then the second time I did, I got 400. And even I still wanted more because after I did the first one, I was like, I don't know. I kind of felt like I was shortchanged because I also Googled like some other people who were getting paid for 30-second commercials. Some of them were getting like 500, 600, 700.
That's
So
one
it
of those
really-
times where you just need to ask, what are you getting? You know,
See,
I
I'm
guess
scared-
if
I'm
you feel you
scared-
have enough power to get away with, like, well, what is your cut?
right.
Am I getting
Well,
posed?
see, I don't ask that because I've dealt with people who get offended by those type of questions, and they're like, "All right, now they don't want to work with you because
Yeah.
but
It's a balancing, delicate act, and
Right.
sometimes I'm a little bit just like, hey, I want to know what I'm getting. What is my cut? Is it fair? If the whole amount is low and my amount is low, then it's like okay. But if like, because I was offered a roadie assistance for a DJ, and the package
Okay.
was I think like $3,000, and I was going to get a whopping, what were they going to pay me? 25 an hour, and it was basically all
Yeah.
day. And it's like, what, 10 hours, 250, and you're making 3,000?
yeah, and
I'll get back to you if I decide I want to do that.
right. No, man, we all been there because like when it's crazy, guy. I started off on my own, but then when I came back to Jersey. I was, multi-op, worked for a few companies, and yeah, the pay was just like, oh my God, it's terrible, especially when you figure out what they're getting, and sometimes you're actually like doing all the work, and it's like, damn, this is what you're not even paying me like 30% of what's like you're paying me like 15%, and it's sometimes you don't even know. Like sometimes we're just so anxious to get started and do the work. So I always say even with voiceovers, yeah, don't be scared. Like there are rates out there. There are actually people who have their website that tell you what they're getting. And I'm not saying we're comparing ourselves to them, but
Yeah.
there is an industry standard, just like how there needs to be one for us DJs, but
Yes.
there's not one. But you should have your own standard and know like, hey, if I'm doing a corporate event and it's for 5 hours, there's no way I should be getting paid 500 or 600. There's something. If this is truly corporate, there's something wrong. So we got to keep that in mind as well. But again, if you don't mind getting your foot in the door for that one time, I would say, if you don't mind it, because it's really up to you at the end of the day. Like, you can turn things down if I feel like if it doesn't sit right with you, then the answer is no, because you're going to be mad and you're not going to be and you're not going to do a good job. If you're not happy in doing something and you feel like you're being shortchanged, it's just not going to be a good feeling, and you're going to probably project it in your voice, like it's going to bleed out in what you're doing. So
you're not enthused. Yeah, you're not into it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So do the drop for Buddy. Go get the review. And I'm serious, because now you're solidified. Like don't even think about it, because and I wouldn't tell anybody when it comes to you for voice. Well, I just did a drop, or I just did a little drop. No. You didn't do a little drop. No, you didn't do a little drop.
Drop for a major US DJ.
Absolutely. Or I was the voice. I'm the voice for his DJ tag that he uses at all of his events all over the United States.
That's right.
And if he's international too, you could throw that in there. But you gotta beef it up. Don't play yourself as if you're I'm just getting started, or I'm the new guy here, or I'm down here. No, because if you start off like that and you talk like that, that's the way you're gonna. That's how you're gonna box yourself in. You're not just the little guy. Because at the end of the day, you are an event host anyway. So you're not a little guy. That's not a small thing to galvanize a crowd and energize a crowd. That's like people who try to act like that. Most people can't even get up in front of a room and say their name and what's their favorite color. Like they'll get nervous doing that. So it's not a small thing, man. Don't look at it like it's a small thing you're doing. It's not at the end of the day.
I have one quick question. Like, say, okay, you T-Mobile or Delaware Lottery, when you do a commercial for them or a voiceover for them, you're gonna get a flat rate, but also you collect royalties off them.
You're supposed to, man. I'll be honest with you. I've never gotten a royalty. I've been screwed.
Oh.
Yeah. Never got a royalty. And it's funny, they'll send me the spot back. They never tell me what time it airs. It's only a few times, like with the T-Mobile. I've heard myself on the radio like driving. I'm like, oh my God, it's me. And I got people in the car. But for Delaware Lottery, no, I actually never got a chance to hear myself on the radio. And that kind of like really kind of bothered me. And they didn't tell me what stations it was playing on either, which was like, I'll be honest with you. It was 7 people on a call. It was 6 of them that like loved me. It was one person that actually didn't like me and kept saying like, kept saying I was saying something wrong. And everybody was like, no, he said it fine. Oh, well, it sounds like he said it wrong. And even the following years, like it was always a problem with this one lady. I don't know. And she was like the head lady too, which is weird, man. But I just felt like she didn't like me, like, or felt like I didn't deserve to be there. That's how I kind of felt.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to hear my spot being played on the radio, which I thought was very, I thought it was very weird. And I actually wanted to ask, but then it's like, I'm kind of like, well, I should just be lucky that I got the spot. Like that was my kind of like my attitude.
Well, I know like DJing cheer competitions, and these cheer competitions, from Pee Wee football to high school and college, they some pay enormous monies for this 2-minute clip of music, and then you have a DJ saying, way to go Cougars, and boom, boom, boom. And it's unbelievable what this company is making, but everything is licensed. All the music is licensed. So they're paying for everything, but then they're making a big chunk back. And that's another thing, Kev, you could maybe get into that, but you have to have the collateral first to pay for the licensing of the music. And then I don't know if you ever did a cheer competition or if you ever even heard of one of the cheer competition songs. It's like 10 songs crammed into
one mega mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost got hired to do the sound for one, and I would be traveling like all through Jersey, New England, but the pay was terrible. Like I felt it was terrible. Like,
I did one that it started at say 8:00 in the morning, and I didn't get out of the arena till 7:30, 8:00 that night, and I had over 5,000 people. I'm there in the center of the rink, and I'm doing all the announcing and everything. And like, wow, this is unreal. Put something on the resume for myself.
Yeah, it definitely looks good on a resume, and definitely can open the doors. I think that's the main thing,
Yes.
Even just with DJing, but the voice, even like being an event host, you could be the host for conferences, you could be the host for galas, meetings,
MC.
Yeah, I mean there's TV. Like that's the next thing I want to kind of get into that realm, is really the TV realm, but also still DJ, but more of TV, and then even just public speaking too. Like we all have a story to tell. Like to be a DJ or to work in entertainment and make it a living or a career, that's a story within itself that people don't realize. So that's even something where you can even get paid to
What we gotta put up
talk about
with.
that. Wait, what would you say, Mikey Mike?
What we gotta put up with as a DJ.
Oh my God, yes, man. People, we're not just playing music, man. We're not
No.
iTunes. We're not Spotify, man.
That's why this is what happened after 22 years of DJing.
The stress, man. Man, I used to be so stressed out, and then I just corporate, man. I was like, I'm gonna stick weddings, man. Oh my God, I used to like, oh my God, I would feel good after the wedding is done, but like,
Yeah, that on rush after the wedding is done, and you're up till 5 o'clock in the morning. It's like, oh my God, I did a great job. Did I do a good job? And you get all these calls the next day or inboxes and Facebook or Instagram saying, man, you knocked it out of the water and this, that. It's like, okay, now I can relax.
Yes, I can let my hair down, let my feet down. But yeah,
wait, I can't let my hair down.
It's stressful, man.
Very.
I don't think people really, understand that, man. Because the same wedding situation you had, I had something similar, and it was in Pennsylvania. So maybe something's wrong with the state. But it was at Abington Art Gallery, and dinner was being served at 9, and they're supposed to be done at 10:30, and dinner was supposed to be served at 7:30, and something was like, even the photographer had to leave earlier too. And I was like, you know what? I just opened up the dance floor while dinner was just started coming out, and it was just so weird. But I was like, I'm not going to end up DJing for only 30 minutes. Like, that's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. What are we doing here? So just
I beat that. I DJ'd at a barn wedding, and they had so many people. They only had one side because they had the table pushed against the wall. So it took like, I think maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours to get through the people. So I DJ'd for about 15 or 20 minutes. And by then it was miserably hot in there. Everybody just ate and got the heck out and left. So she's like, no, we're not going on. Everybody's left. It's like, well, yeah, I would too if I didn't have to be here. So it was, I was just a sweat mess. It was one of those, it was basically this month. And usually by now it's a little bit cooler, a little more comfortable. And it was a miserably muggy 80, upper 80s, Saturday. So
Kev, I'll give you a little bit of advice there. You got to get yourself a nice 18-inch fan.
Yeah, I got a fan.
That sets on the floor. Then you got to get yourself a floor fan, tilt that up, and then you have another fan blowing at your computer, your hard drives on your table, but actually catching you also, because I did one this past summer, and it was, again, about 92 degrees out, extremely humid, and everybody's dancing, and they're sweating, and I'm standing there, and they're like, how come you're not sweating? I said, well, come on back here. And they're like, oh my God, it's like a 25 degrees difference back here. I'm like, yeah, I'm smarter than the average bear, man, I sweat. But once the event was over, basically I had everything packed up, and the last two things I shut off, or the last three things I shut off, were the fans. And once they went off, that's when the sweat came out,
Smart.
Yes. On the online sites, if you book through them, all the transaction is handled through those apps or websites, right? Is there some that you've done where they're a contract, like for the big companies, and do they write the contract? Do you have to come up with a contract?
Oh man, so with the website, it will be done through them, and then also they're going to take a percentage too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So while you're also paying a membership fee,
is that percentage go up as the amount you're getting go up, or is it straight?
Absolutely. And some of them they'll give you, like, say their budget might be between $750 to $1,000. So you can bid $1,000. So the more you bid, obviously the more they're going to take. It's kind of, and then you're also paying a membership fee, which is like for the access, which doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm saying. Like right, and I feel it's better not to. I feel like the membership. I'll say this: it gives you an opportunity to see scripts, but again, you can get the free membership where you won't be able to apply to everything. There might be certain ones where they might, personally send it to you because they're not requiring someone to have a membership to actually have access to this voiceover. But you can also use the free one as an opportunity to actually record your own demo.
Yeah.
Like think about it in that sense. And if you even want to do a little bit of digging, some of them might actually let you know the company that's looking for they don't even block it off. So if you want to do a little digging yourself and like find out who's in charge and like on your
Reach
own,
out to them directly. Yeah.
Right. Without even
I have done some of that sleuthing with different things. I'm not above that.
Right.
And it's sort of a fun game. I enjoy the challenge.
Absolutely. And I think it's worth it because again, I paid, I think it was 2 years of Voices, I think was it Voices 123 or voices.com.
That's
I only got I got like one job out of it, and that's actually pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I would apply to so many things, and I've had people like my demos, and also I've also applied to things where it actually wasn't a real person. It was like spam. It was actually fake.
And the fake people wouldn't even hire you?
Yeah, no. Well, they sent me I effed up. They sent me a script, and I downloaded, and it was like malware or some shit. Yeah. So it's like you got people on there doing funny stuff too as well. Because I don't think if you're a client, I don't think you have to pay to use that site. Like if you're looking for voiceover talent, you don't have to pay. But if you're a voiceover talent looking for work, you have to pay.
Yeah.
It's very similar to like Thumbtack. If you're you can I've gotten fake leads on Thumbtack even back in the day where people were trying to say they would pay me more and they want me to pay the photographer, and I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, that's a scam.
Yeah,
I'm on some of the DJ ones that sort of take either a cut and a yearly, membership.
It's crazy, man.
And one of them, sort of that sleuthing, it didn't work out for me. But one of them was a local area school that was on. It was like they're looking for it was weird. It said a club DJ, but it's like in a little podunk town that doesn't have a nightclub action. And they wanted someone who mixes. And it's like, wait a minute, this sounds like a homecoming because the kid's age was 17 and under. It's like, wait a minute.
Wow.
So I checked out the school and found out what school it was. And I wrote an email to the one that was in charge.
Okay.
Saying, hey, I see you posted. Let me explain to you that when you use this service, you have to pay. Then when I give you a quote, I have to they get a cut of that. So as a result, I'm going to charge you more to compensate for the cut that the app or the website's taking. So,
right.
I can get you a better price if you talk to me direct versus going through the thing. I explained that to him in a nice email. Never hear anything back. So I don't know why. A lot of people think they're going to save money, but the way I look at it is like it costs me money, so I have to adjust my standard price.
Right.
Now, some other people maybe don't do that. They're just looking for anything that has a greenback.
Yep.
I don't.
$2.
Yeah, I don't chase that. It's like
I love to hear that, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, no, that's good, and that means you have a standard for yourself, and I think that's important in our line of work. Whether you're going to delve more into the voiceover work, you gotta treat yourself like that. Like, hey, I'm worth this. I know what I bring to the table, because at the end of the day, we are the value. Yeah. Because without us, you can use AI. It's not going to sound good, but we are the value. We are the talent. So I'm not going to settle for this. And especially if you want something that's valuable, this is what it's going to cost. And I feel like you save yourself a lot of the headache too, instead of just saying, hey, I'm willing to take X, Y, Z. Because usually when you take from low hanging fruit, it's just so many problems. And you never know. So you might take a voiceover that's a terrible pay, and it's like, well, I need this revised, or I need you to do it again, or do this again, or do this again. And it's like, no, I'm not going to keep.
It's a slippery slope.
For free, no, because usually with those websites, you get to charge someone if they want you to revise what you recorded as well. Like there's a fee for that. You get to put that in there as well. So it's like, I'm not just recording, for free again. Like this is time, energy, especially if you're like going to the studio and you're getting someone to edit and master your track. That's money. And even if you're doing it yourself, you're still
Time.
plugging in. It's energy, it's electricity, it's time, it's money. Everything costs. So
That's why they always say it's as a DJ, and I assume even as a voiceover, there's a certain amount that you need not to leave the house to go do the event, but sort of to walk your ass into wherever your studio is to do it.
that is true.
Because you were just telling us about the investment in equipment. So, and it's not free, and I've looked at some of the prices of some of the stuff, the foam and that kind of situation. I haven't, but that's one thing I hadn't really thought about. So it's like, I'm watching, it's like playing the grocery game on Price is Right, where I watch the cash register go ka-ching,
Yeah,
Yep.
stuff adds up, man. And you're always gonna have to upgrade at some point. This stuff adds up, and at the end of the day, you should be able to make quality money, and then also be able to enhance your gear if you want to. Like, say I want to get a different mic, or say if I want to get a different setup, or I want to add more foam in my room and make it more soundproof, or I want to build out a whole booth, a whole vocal booth to stand inside. Like, these things cost money. Like, there's people who do that. So it's like, I'm not going to do a voiceover for $100 or $200. It doesn't really make sense, because that's not what the budget should be. The same way I look at it with DJing, because every time I did an event that I was underpaid, or I actually felt like I was being cheated, something always broke and I had to go replace it. I'm like, man, I should have just stayed home. Like I had my tents break before, and I'm just like, oh, I should have stayed home.
Yep. Yep.
I guess you mentioned Focusrite, and I've looked at it. There's something called Scarlett and Solo, and
Scarlett's a good one too. Scarlett's a good interface.
Is that a more basic one to sort of start with? Sort of, like I said, like we were trying to do as a more of a beginner version, and then also tied into that is of the equipment you mentioned. Are you sort of maxed out, so to speak, on that? I think the mic, you said you went on the economical side, so you could move up from that, but all the rest of your equipment, are you pretty much like there's no place to go from where I'm at?
No, my all-time goal, you might think this is like, I actually plan to, like, when I get a new house, I plan to actually build out a real vocal booth, like in a basement, and have it fully soundproofed, and like where I act like I'm a recording studio. Like, I'm literally walking into a booth. Like, that's the actual real goal. So no, you're never like tapped out. You always can get better. Like meaning you always can buy better equipment, better gear. Shoot, maybe one day I'll get an engineer as well. Like, where I don't even have to sit down and because if I get a vocal booth, I'm gonna literally have to hit record and walk in the booth. That's annoying. Like, I don't. That's what I was doing when I was working at the radio station. Too. That was kind of like when I was at Sirius. There's the recording, the engineering side is different from the recording side. So literally, I would have to hit record and go walk inside a booth, where you can actually people can sit down and record, but it's like who really wants to do that every single time? That's very annoying.
Back and listen.
I can't even go back and listen, and even to punch in sometimes, that's just so the first station I was at, I actually could literally right here where my mic is, I could actually record and stop pause and everything. But then also too, sometimes depending on how hard I hit the pause, you can kind of hear it too. You hear the click. So it's just I would prefer a real kind of traditional recording booth setup, and maybe if I'm lucky enough, have an engineer who, all right, boom, you get to have fun with it. I don't even want to do that. At this point, I don't want to master my voice. I don't want to do any of that. You plug away at it. You know,
Okay.
because there's a lot of guys who and like. So I used to work at a state. It's a small station. It's called 93.7 WSTW. It's in Delaware, but there was a on air personality where he was like telling me how I don't know how he was doing voiceovers for the station, and then he just got like connected to all these agencies and companies where he ended up building out a whole like a whole studio in his house where he like literally he freelances for like all these companies. So he's like he actually gets paid more to do voiceovers than be on the radio, which is crazy. So he'll like just record at home and he has an engineer and like he'll edit everything for him and they just like send it out. But he's like literally on retainer every month for like so many companies. And I was just like, God damn, man, this is like back in 2017. I'm like, oh man, I'm trying to do this. You know, like I think you tell me he was making like I think like 80,000 and that was like 2017. And you know, with rate it's like a smaller state. It's like a smaller state. It's not a big pop station. You know, it's not like it's like a Z100 or anything like that, which is like big in New York, but it was a smaller pop station. He was making more doing voiceovers at home than he was on the radio. Like, so I don't know. I just find that's just crazy.
Yeah.
That's super crazy. But I mean, it's opportunity, man. It's really opportunity, and the doors are open, especially like with this internet. I mean, again, I've seen people do voiceovers with cats fighting each other and like get millions of views. Like, and it's ridiculous. Then they end up in a commercial. It's like, and that's even like a bigger bag. And then think about it's a brand behind you. Like, that's even bigger than just like, that's bigger than like, say, I don't know, Sony hiring you to do a commercial, you know?
Yeah.
It's huge. Like, I mean, look at the people who do Progressive. Like, I've actually Googled some of these guys that do these auto commercials, like Flo, like she makes over like, this was like a couple of years ago, maybe like 2022, but I know she was making over like, I think maybe 1.5 at that point to be in those commercials. And the other guy that does Allstate, like people make really good money, like just doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, the Mayhem guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's I'm telling you, man, these opportunities are there. And then think about it, like that opens the door. Like you could maybe be in a movie too. Like you could get a scene in a movie. Like these are crazy opportunities. Shit, you could help co-host something, you know, on TV. Like, I mean, look at like how like late night TV's going. Like there's like only almost one host now. Like they're like the door is like I'm telling you, the door is like really open that people are not realizing. Even if you're not going to go through that sector, I mean, there was a woman who was on TikTok that was talking about her divorce and she ended up getting like all these brand deals that were like up to like 2.5 million, was like on like different TV shows, basically a 50-part series talking about how her marriage went awry. And I'm like, that I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. Like, you know, like people get divorced that could tell a wilder story, and they probably get a brand deal for it. Like, there's so many opportunities with this mouthpiece of ours, with our voice speaking, getting our story out, and doing it in a unique way. So,
It's amazing what people will pay for today.
right? It's almost it's unbelievable. Like it really is, and everything has changed, man. Like the things that people can make money doing. I mean, this never would have been a thing 20 years ago, or let alone even 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Crazy.
think back prior to COVID, if you came up with say, okay, I'm going to do a voiceover for this or for that, it's like, well, you got to get your foot in the door first before you can even attempt to do something like that. Now you can create something, throw it up on YouTube or TikTok, and you're at the right time at the right time at the right place, and somebody sees it, boom, you could take right up like a rocket, you know?
It's insane, man. It's like, damn, man, what was that? Like, oh man, I felt like I was super creative in college, but you know, it was the old days. It was too old, man. I was like, well, like missed my moment. I missed my mark, man.
Well, next year you're going to be 40, and I just turned 60.
I
So,
know, and I feel like I know even 60's not old, and 40's not old either. But it's like,
no, God, no.
but compared to like what's going on now, it's like, yeah, I definitely feel like, yeah. Like I graduated college like almost 18 years ago, man. Like
I graduated high school 43 years ago. Where did
that's
that
why I
go?
don't feel comfortable doing. I did a silent disco at Rutgers in New Brunswick,
Okay.
and I'll be honest, like, dude, it feels weird, man, DJ. And I'm 39. I'm like, and people are like, "What? You look like you're still in your 20s." I'm like, "No, I'm about to be 40, man."
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right. It feels weird. I don't. I feel it feels out of place. So I'm just like, I'm not doing any more. Like I already stopped doing like elementary stuff. Like I stopped last year. I'm like, I'm not doing it. This is weird. But I'm like, I'm not doing any college parties anymore. I'll do like I'd still do stuff for Rutgers as far as like they'll have like they'll have pop-up music festivals. So like I'm like the talent for the day. So I get to spin whatever, but it's not a party though. It's like I'm just basically playing music. And like they're welcome back their college students. I play music for that. So I'll do stuff like that. But as far as like partying and nah, I don't even feel right like being in a room, the same room. It just doesn't feel right.
It's like even doing weddings. I'm looking at these couples getting married, especially the younger couples. They're 22, 24 years old.
Yeah.
Wow, I definitely could be your dad or possibly be your grandfather, and I'm DJing your wedding. But yeah, it's something what I like to do. I like to put a smile on people's faces. Well, you always hear these DJs say, "Well, hey, I got a packed dance floor." Well, my idea is if there's 200 people there, and if you get say 75 people to dance, but you have the rest of the crowd bobbing and weaving to the music and
Hmm.
singing at the table, you're a hit that night. That's the whole thing is everybody's enjoying what you're playing, and like with the voiceovers, Kev, you got a lot of opportunity there. Just again, you have to be at the right place, the right time, and just keep on making content, getting it out on YouTube, getting it out on TikTok, whatever platform you're on, and just keep pumping it out because somebody's gonna see it and say, "Wow, hey, we could use that guy right there."
Absolutely. Record your events too, man. Like any events that you're talking, you're using a microphone,
Yeah,
record those too. Like that's also part of it. Like that's your video reel.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
record that.
I should have done some of that at the last fair I did, but I didn't even really even think about it.
It's all good. It's not too late, man. It's not too late. But definitely, yeah, record
There's
that, man.
always another opportunity.
No, absolutely, man.
It's just going back to DJing weddings. Wedding I did 2 weeks ago. The bride and groom did their dance after dinner, which today is very unlikely. They like to get everything done before dinner. And here, what I did is after the end of the song, everybody just stood there and looked, and they were just like in amazement of this couple. I told the couple, I said, everybody started clapping. I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, can you please stop the clapping for 1 minute?" So they did, and I said, Allie, Josh, just turn and look at all the love looking back at you two guys. Look at that. Look at the love for both yous. And I said, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, now you can do your clapping." And everybody just started roaring. And the bride and groom actually started, they were shocked that I said that. And everybody in the room was shocked that I said that because it was just the atmosphere, the way it happened. It was unbelievable because there was an ice cream truck outside, which 90% of the people were in line waiting for an ice cream. As soon as they heard the bride and groom's first song come on, they all ran back inside to see them dancing. So
That's wow.
fun.
And it's interesting that you said they did the first dance after dinner.
Yes.
That is so different. Yo, things are changing, man.
Yeah. Well, it used to be that way, but then it switched everything before dinner because it made it so much easier for the venue, for the DJ, for the photographer. And today, the photographers like to leave early. So
Mhm.
they have to wait till after dinner. Now you have to wait basically, you know, the wedding's more than half over, so now they have to wait a little bit longer to get some people dancing besides the bride and groom too, you know. So it's get it done before, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's different, man. Industry is
Oh,
really
changing.
changing, man. All these industries, man, they're changing drastically. It's like,
Yes.
you gotta you gotta get with it or get lost.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fortunately.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
guys, the times, man. If not, you're just dust in the wind. That's it. You know.
right.
You finished? I'm just
I first my time tonight.
I gotta go back and see
Yeah, you
when
was
was the last
quiet,
time I
man.
talked. I was like,
HitmanDDub, you going quiet, man. I kept looking at you like, "Yo, you gonna talk?"
but no, while you all was talking, I was trying to do a I guess recap slide. So I was using my time wisely. So going back to if you're trying to start doing voiceover work, we pretty much broke it down to how to start. So the basic setup that you'll need is to first treat your room so you can get a dry vocal, because whatever vocal you put into your system to edit, that's the vocal that you're going to get back. So don't think that you can put in crappy vocals and then the software is going to make it perfect. That's not the case. It's best to try to have your vocals as clean and as dry as possible, because then it leaves you with more options to add to the vocals if you want to do it. Also use a good microphone. It could be an XLR or a USB, and use a pop filter. And that's the thing that you usually see in front of people, if I can, the little thing, or something that's gonna, yep.
There we go.
There you go.
Or it could be,
Mike's got a dead cat.
I got a dead cat on my ass.
yeah, I had one. I
That's a
can't,
good one though.
yeah, something like
Or the phone
As you
too.
can tell, Mike is
Yep.
not loved by PETA.
And then if you use an XLR, you'll need something to go into your computer, either a mixer, a USB mixer, or some kind of audio interface. Yep.
I have a Roland Bridgecast one.
Okay. And then,
Forgot.
especially if
Ask
you're
him.
doing multi-tracks, meaning that you're recording over another sound, you'll need a good pair, or I shouldn't say good pair, a decent pair of headphones. And the second thing we talked about was recording editing tools, the software. You can use Audacity, which is free. You can use Logic Pro if you have a Mac. And also, as far as the effects goes, Reese said he just used a limiter and compression and volume automation, and basically fade in and fade out towards the back to kind of like get only the sound that he wants on his recording. And limiters is basically like putting a ceiling over your vocal so it doesn't peak and go over it. And the compressor, if done right, it brings up all the low parts, the real soft parts, and you're trying to make it so that your vocals are pretty much in the same dynamic range. It's not too high or too low. And then the next one, learning and development. You can try your local community colleges. If you want to go, if you don't have the equipment, try those. I know Tri-C here, community college, Cuyahoga Community College here in Cleveland, they have a nice recording studio that you can sign up, and it's free to the people and the, what do you call them, citizens of Cuyahoga County. Also try your libraries. A lot of your new libraries have a lot of this stuff that you can go and sign up and use a booth as well. They got all the gear. And then after you record your demos and everything to build your portfolio, Reese had suggested that we upload our demos to, you can go to voices.com or voice123, but I think he said there was a pay, you have to pay like a subscription or something.
Yep, membership fee.
Yep.
So you could put the demos up there for free. The membership fee just gives you access to actually bid on the voiceover work. And then also they will send you some stuff for free once in a while, but if you have the membership, you have access to everything that goes out. You can bid on anything. You could record demos or samples to anything because they're going to give you a script to record to. And sometimes they'll invite you if they like your demo or your already work that your demos that you upload on the site, they can invite you to bid on a specific thing too.
You mean the business, they saw your sample and they want you to bid?
Yeah, so they want you to bid and privately send them, they'll send you a script. They want you to record that script. They want to hear how you sound with that script. So that's a good indicator, you know.
Yeah, if it's a free version, they have to reach out to you.
Yes, with the free one. Yes, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's almost like a voiceover version of like Bark or Get Salad.
Yes, yeah.
Yep. Badge, all those good things. Now, the way I could look at it, like, okay, I'm going to go for the free. Then if I do get someone reaching out to me, I could say, okay, I made X amount of dollars. I'm going to now maybe invest that and move up to the paid version.
That is honestly a great way to look at it. Yeah. Or what this fourth slide is, create that content on TikTok. That's another that could actually get you your paid membership.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's the one that no one really wants to do. That's one that no one wants to do, but that's the most effective one. That's like really building your brand.
So it's almost like being the Kai Cenat of voiceovers.
Yes. Yes, you paid attention. Dude, he's done voiceovers recently, and I'm just like, he's not a voiceover guy. It's insane. Mm-hmm. It's insane. It's insane.
Then networking is also important. Trying to, again, going back to our who's in your inner circle, we just did a whole episode on that one. So networking, you can do it on LinkedIn, or if you have an insider that you're good with, like the image, what did you say? The image director at a radio
imaging
station?
Director.
Yep. Try to see if you can network with them. And then you also can put your services up on Fiverr. And then Reese also said what to avoid. Don't pay just to get noticed on shady sites. Focus instead on reviews and reputation. Build relationships in the industry. Connect with radio station imaging directors. And use creativities and imagination to stand out. So those are the things I was able to try to quickly type in. I'll post this up on our Facebook page, group page. All right, let's go. Let me see. We didn't even really talk to our chat. I know Buddies was in the chat. I saw Chin Chillin. I see LaRuckus is here.
Will was here.
Yep, Will was here. And Mikey Mike with all his different accounts.
Yeah, my keyboard died on me too, so I couldn't get back on it.
Okay. So it's like I'm throwing out a whack. I'm trying to go back and try to get back in order. But let's do our shout outs for this week. Again, I would like to thank DJ Reese for stopping by and helping us out, giving us some pointers on how to start our voiceover careers. You can follow him on Instagram at _DJ Reese _. He also has a YouTube channel called Recreate the Vibe Podcast. And then I'd like to thank our chat all-star, Kevin from DJK Productions. And you can follow him at DJK Productions 1966 on Instagram.
I do have a Facebook. It's just DJK Productions.
Okay, so basically everything is, just look for DJK Productions with the headphones and the wedding couple underneath, and that's Kevin. Again, you can join our Facebook group page, and that's the long URL code, or you can just go to Facebook, type in Cue It Up, and join our private or public group. You can follow djmikiemike on Twitter and Facebook at djmikiemike. And then on Instagram at djmikiemike45. And then you can follow me on all of my socials at HitmanDDub. And then we have a group of DJs that also do their own shows called the DJ Collective Network, where it's one culture, many voices. And the views and opinions expressed during the DJ Collective Network primetime shows are those of the individual hosts and guests of that show. They do not necessarily reflect the views or official stance of the different shows of the DJ Collective Network as a whole, its affiliate, or production partners. Viewers and listeners' discretion is advised. So welcome to our primetime DJ lineup, a weekly schedule of live streamed shows built for DJs by DJs. Whether you're just starting out or scaling your business, we got the knowledge, stories, and inspiration to help you level up. On Mondays at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, for every DJ chasing dreams, no matter the odds, it's your time to spend with DJ Cool Thing. Then on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, join Buddy and his weekly guest panel of DJs for unfiltered conversations that matter. It's the DJ Roundtable with Buddy from TBM Productions. And if you missed the live Twitch stream, you can catch the rebroadcast on Mondays at 1 o'clock on Buddy's channel, which is at TBM Productions DJ 1. Then on Wednesday, we have Sean, DJ Night Owl, with the DJ Biz School. It's not just about spinning tracks, it's about spinning success. Learn the business side of DJing, branding, marketing, SEO, and strategy. And then on Thursday, you have the Queued Up DJ podcast at 9 o'clock with me, the HitmanDDub, and DJ Mike. It's not just talk, it's real tools for real DJs for all skill levels. And then also on Thursdays at 9 o'clock, we have the Start to Spin DJ podcast with La Ruckus Inc. And that's DJ Pretty Boy and DJ Shay. And then we have Kevin along with Matt and Eric on the KJ Chill Room karaoke chat. And you can catch them live on Mondays at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern at djntv.com/KJ Chill. And they show the rebroadcast Sunday nights on the DJ NTV channel, YouTube channel. And then you can catch Reese. He does his own podcast, Recreate the Vibe Podcast, but also make sure you follow him on his Instagram because there's many times where you can catch him going live as he heads out to his gigs. And he also broadcasts live from his gigs and interact. So that's a good way to interact with DJ Reese. And again, his Instagram is _DJ Reese _. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe to all of our channels. And our fade out message is, don't box yourself, think outside the box. So that was the biggest takeaway that DJ Reese was constantly telling us.
Yep.
All right, we have any other final comments or before we head on out?
I think we had a great show tonight. I think Kevin learned a lot of information. Did you, Kev?
Yeah, learned a lot. Asked some questions and trying to then go with contacting some reps at some of these maybe different places. I have seen some of the Focusrite items on Facebook Marketplace. I guess the only question about going there, they're like $20, $50 or whatever. Is there any way to quickly check the product, or is it pretty much destructible proof, so it should be good to go? Any idea?
That's I'll be honest with you, that's a very good question. I'll say, I mean, if you're $20, that's not like interfaces are not super expensive. So if you're beat out of luck with $20, that's not bad, So I would say give it a chance. I've gotten interfaces for really cheap as well. This one I think was this is a Tascam US2X2. I think I got this maybe for $80. And this is nothing compared to the Rode, which was like 500 and something. So yeah,
That's what you have.
this is give it if I can come across an interface that's $50, I'm definitely buying it because it's worth to see how long it lasts. And they're not super expensive too as well. Like you don't have to get the $100-$200 one. If it's a good brand, it's a good brand. You're what you input to it, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But it's also got look at because some of them come with software, so
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
so you can kind of like look at that, and sometimes if you pay a little bit more than the $50, you might be able to get software that's a little bit better than Audacity. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I got recently, I don't remember what the name was, but I got Sweetwater sent me an offer. It's like, hey, here's this one for $419, and you get a lifetime software subscription to. Like I said, I don't remember the names because I looked at it. It's like, that's a little bit more than I'm going to spend.
Right.
I don't even know if that's a software that's that everybody dies for. So it's like,
Was it like Reason or something?
what was that?
Reason?
Oh, that it was given away free.
Yeah, I mean that's another software too that's been around for.
Oh, Reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to have that.
yeah, I did too.
I got an audio mixer free from getting Reason like back in the day, and I ended up like selling that on eBay. But they gave me a mixer for free, which is kind of like unheard of. But also, I sent you a DM of a bunch of conferences. I don't even know where are you located. I went on your Instagram. Where are you located?
I'm north central Ohio, about 50 miles north of Columbus.
Okay, so I sent you 3 links. I know one of the conferences was like Virginia, Atlanta, and I don't remember the other one, but I think they also like will show other dates of other areas. But now I know that you're in Ohio, I'll definitely check out some more and see what I can find with conferences in your area. But yeah, there's always stuff going on.
Yeah, I still have the email I'm looking at right now.
Okay.
It's a PreSonus Studio Live AR8C mixer with audio interface with effects, and you get a free perpetual license of Studio One Pro 7 DAW.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yep.
Says it's a value of $199.99. So that was an offer that got sent to me probably because I've looked at a few things on Sweetwater now, so they think, oh well, we got to strike when the iron is hot and give you some deals. So.
Yep.
So that program is a good program, and that unit sounds legit.
Yeah, because I know I used it, and it comes with a lot of stuff within it too. So
Stuff that's good or just stuff that's fluff that is like, I don't need that.
no, it was good because I was using making beats and stuff, and then that's what Teddy Riley was like promoting. So And it's probably
Jazzy
better
Jeff
now
too.
because I got it when it first came out. I had Studio One. I think it was 3.
Okay.
So I got it when it first came out. So there's no telling what's in it
wow.
now.
I guess
Jazzy Jeff was promoting it too recently. He was
The
doing
only
some
other
crazy
thing-
stuff with it.
the only other thing I think I talked to Dwayne about it is I saw a guy using this program. He went to Fiverr and had different audio engineers punch up his music, and he used an AI based called, what was it, Lindell?
Oh, Lander, LANDR
okay, for the
dot
master.
com.
And
Yep.
it's like, is that something that is a
master.
voiceover product, or is that strictly musical realm?
Yeah, you know what's so crazy? I've used Lander for music. I've never tried it.
Okay.
You know what? I might actually. I'm gonna see, but who knows? Because maybe it might strip away the richness of your voice. I'm not sure.
I use it, and that's
for
what I
mixing
use
stuff.
for my when I do my narrations, because it automatically brings it up to levels, and then you can set it. You can adjust how much you want to bring it up, because it's like if you want to just use the presets, it's 3 presets. It's like warm setting, open, and loud, and then there's another 3 settings for I can tell. Why am I guessing? I can just look it up because I use it to bring up all my levels.
I
So
only used it for music though. Never
and
used it.
then also I use it if you subscribe to it. Since I do music, I can release my songs on Spotify and all the streaming platforms there.
Right through that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I like to use it. Let me see.
Yeah,
I guess the other thing would be is that would be something you would use after you use your regular DAW software. That would where you would put it into that as sort of a final sort of, it's almost like checks and balances. It's checking your previous work and even fine tuning it more maybe, or just says, no, it's good to go. Let's roll with it.
I would say you fine tune it with Lander after you take it out your DAW.
Yeah. Okay.
That's and also too, like when I first started, I wish I had it bookmarked on my old laptops, but I had like presets too. Like I had certain presets for Logic Pro, but this was all for like YouTube videos of like while I was watching how other people would actually like master their vocal tracks for voiceovers. So check out YouTube as well. That'll kind of give you a good sense too of what you can use as well. And there are plugins too. I'm just a little stingy.
Now the
but there are
plugins that you're mentioning are not part of the company. There's something else that works with that software. Is that what a plugin means? Or is that like the way to sell you more product under the same company name, but it's something we're not including in the base package? Is that, which way is it, or is it both ways?
Plugins is exactly like, think of Serato. 'Cause Serato comes, you can buy Serato, but then they'll come with like reverb or phaser. But if you want some of that extra effects, you have to pay for those, and they'll work with inside the program.
Okay, so it's still part of the same company. It's not an outside product that's made to work with.
It's an
Serato.
outside product.
Oh, it is an outside. It's not a part of Serato. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So
it's
like-
an outside company, and you can get those from any place. So it's not like, but I pretty much get mine from Wave, because Wave has a lot of,
Wave or Isotope,
yep, because they have a lot, they run a lot of deals.
Okay.
and they're good for like vocal production too. Like Waves or Isotope, definitely. Sorry, Hitman detail. I'm gonna say it, but I used to be like, I don't want to say a hacker, but I used to not have to pay for certain things. So,
Nothing wrong with that.
so I used to get even I had Serato free for like a long time, then I finally just paid for it. But yeah, man, I used to, hack plugins too at a certain point. I used to, torrent.
So are you the reason why we have to use these little things now? So you can't download. You have to plug this thing
Yeah,
in
you
or
have-
have this special software.
Dongle.
Yeah. I had Fruity Loops back in the day, man. I had like Fruity Loops back in like 2000, like I think it was 5 or 6, like the original one, and that looked terrible compared to now. But yeah, I also had a friend who was like he was like a computer wizard, man. He used to help me hack stuff in college, and then I kind of like took that on and learned from him. And yeah, I was the torrent guy, man. My discographies, a lot of them came from torrents, and they were fine. I didn't have any viruses or anything, no malware.
You just run it through a virus as soon as it gets downloaded.
Yeah, it was fine, man. So, and it saved me a lot of money. I'll tell you that. It saved me a lot of money. It wasn't right, but it saved me a lot of money.
Yeah, but going back to Lander, yeah, so Lander has like for style, you can set it for warm, balance, or open. It's almost like EQs. And then for the loudness, you can either tone it down or have it stay the same or boost it so it's wide, so it's louder without distorting. And then they also have different plugins as well. See if I can get in. It's not that master. I should have did it, but there's something else there that they have different things where you can fine tune that. So if you want to get hands on, you can fine tune it even more. But the whole thing is with the software, before you go and spend a lot of money on software, make sure you get one that you're going to be able to learn, because some of those are hard to learn, and it's easy to buy it and get,
Probably why a lot of times you get a easier to use program that you pay for versus one that's free. I don't know that it's always that way, but a lot of times they're trying to make it user friendly. And because they've spent more time with tech and design, that's sort of like, why we have to charge X amount of dollars, while Audacity, and I've used it a little bit, doing some loops and things, but not recently. But it, because I don't use it enough, it's every time I go to use it again, it's like starting over again.
Yeah, that's how I feel with Audacity.
Yeah, but
And
see,
it's like
but
I have Logic and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say with Audacity, since it's free, you can always. What's cool about these software, it's just like a car. Even though the cars have different models, they all function the same. You still got the steering wheel, you still got the pedal. So if you can open up Audacity and do simple things with Audacity, at least you have the fundamentals, because a lot of those softwares also have free 30-day trials, all that. So you can try it out and then see if you can transfer that knowledge from Audacity to that program. If you like it, then purchase it, or purchase the Lite, because they have different tiers as well. All right. Do we have anything else? No, Mike has been quiet a while. Do you want to say anything before we head on out?
I've got an itch on my back that I can't get at, and I've been going crazy here. I'm like,
I think he wants the show to end. Is what
No. Usually I'm gapping away, but I'm so happy that you're here, Kev. I'm happy Reese is here.
Consumed with this itch.
Oh, it's killing me. It's on my right shoulder. Actually, I have a cyst right in that area from where my surgery was on my back. So that's where the itch is. And it's like, I got to get up against the door frame, and just like a bear going up against a tree,
Oh, where's your cat? Your cat's supposed to be there.
I know. She took the night off tonight.
Oh, okay.
She was here last night all night with me. Even after we got off, I had to go down to my mom's. She stayed here in the room, and I came back upstairs. I brought her a couple of treaties, and then she decided, okay, I want to go home now, so back through the door and back down our side, and that was it, But I am so happy Reese was back. I'm happy Kev was here. And Kev, remember to say hello to Tony Soprano for me,
I'll let him know. I'll tell him hi from you.
And Reese, I always see you on Instagram, so I'm always throwing a heart on it, man.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you. I just want to say thank y'all for having me on again, man. I really appreciate it, and I I love what you fellas are doing, man. You're doing a lot of great things for the DJ community. So keep it going.
Thank you.
Don't stop. You guys are necessary. So
Much
Okay.
appreciated. Sir.
No problem. Anytime. And with that, that's an open invitation to anybody else. If you want to be on the show, just drop us a DM. We'd be more than happy to have you on the show. Or just like Kevin, if you have a question, just drop us a line and we'll make sure to cover it. Speaking about covering topics, next week we're talking about DJing in a barn or tent weddings. So we'll be breaking down sound, power, and dance floor strategies to make rustic weddings under the stars unforgettable. Well, who just said,
Barnes, man.
That was me.
Oh yeah, you just can't wait for next week because
Oh,
for 2 weeks in a
boy.
row you had talked about your DJ gig. I'm like, dude, we're gonna talk about it next week, but you have to get in there.
Hold on.
You know, I got to give a little look into the future, what we're going to have on the show, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You have to, it's like when you're watching a show on TV and next week's episode of this is coming up and then you cut it off right before the climax of it is or the great points of it is. So it's like,
Right.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta come
Batman used to do that all the time with Adam West.
Yep.
And them barn weddings, man, that power, having that power is key. Testing it out. I had some issues with that before.
Not only that, the setups of the barn weddings is
Oh my God. Generator, your best friend.
Or doing it during the fall when it starts to get cold, when the sun goes down.
see. I
Yeah,
love,
oh my God, yeah.
no, see, I love the cold weather. It could be. I'm in shorts 12 months a year, 24/7. If it's -3 outside, I'm outside in shorts having a cigarette with just a hoodie on or just a flannel shirt on and my t-shirt on, and that's it. And then I cover up my bald head with my hat, my New York Jets hat. I have to put on.
Okay. So again, I want to thank everyone who had joined us live here in the chat. Also, don't forget, if you catch the replay, leave us a comment in the comment section. I would like to know what's on everyone's mind. And again, thank you, Reese and Kevin, for joining us tonight. Hopefully, we'll
Thank
be
you,
able to
brother.
have you on again.
Appreciate it, guys.
I appreciate y'all, man.
All right. So remember, before it's time to spin, you gotta first cue it up. So hopefully you all have a great weekend and go out there and crush those gigs. And I'll see you next week.
Everyone.
I'm a rise like the sun while the world still sleeps. Scouring the sights looking for new leads. Marathon gigs with no in between. Your worth is from a rear view they seen. They want to party, but I'm battling fatigue, chasing passion while my mental is still out on leave. It's an everyday hustle, so respect the DJ life. We make it look easy, but the pressure's tight. Cue up the pressure. Pressure. Cue up the pressure. Pressure. Cue up the pressure. Pressure. Every dollar earned got a story to tell. Dreams in the booth where the DJs dwell. Clubbing is a struggle like it's all I've got. Set it up, break it down, travel to the next spot. Ambitions, the engine stay sharp like a tool. Revving through my gigs, power drinks is fuel. It's an everyday hustle, we respect the DJ life. We make it look easy, but the pressure's tight. Pressure. Cue up the pressure. The pressure. Pressure. Cue up the pressure. 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 Cue up the pressure. The pressure. Cue up the pressure.